순간에서
Is the stream on? I'm always confused with all the schedule thing. Is it on? Can you hear me? Oh, hello? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello? Is it on? It's on. Okay. Oh.
Sensei.
Hey. Hey, hello, 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 hello. Weekly challenge number 7. Draw an underwater scene with a merman or mermaid. Got 17 posts. It's lesser than last time, but it's okay. I guess the point of the topic, why I chose this topic is, I think it would have been better if we could focus more on the lighting and shading, and kind of not be too overwhelmed by perspective, because underwater scenes can you don't really have to worry about perspective too much. So let's see what we got. So number 1 again, Baku Haku. Number 1, the points are 4 for drawing power, 4 for completion, topic, context, and such. Most again, this could have been 3. It could have been 3, but since you did the effort for the coral reefs, I also have you for knowledge 3 points because of the coral reefs, and it's really done well. It seems that you took some time on it. One point, there's a couple of points I want to change. I want to point out is that you, Baku Haku, you are really good at finishing effects and overall drawing and stuff, but your figure drawings are not as good as the other ones that I just explained. So you need to sharpen your figure drawings a little bit more. Now, although these are fantasy creatures, you want to have some realism in them. So what I did here was, whoa, wait, did I just? I did. I think I erased. Oh boy. I think I erased what I did want on yours to
Very good at FUTA stuff 2 degree.
I erased. Alright, I erased what I did. I think I erased what I did.
Oh god.
Okay, wait. I'll just use this for now, I'm sorry.
I saw your recommendations for mine on the preview thumbnail though.
Yeah, I'll just use this for now. I think I could salvage it somewhere. I'll just use this for now. Sorry about that. Okay, the thing I'm gonna point out is,
how did that happen?
I think I cut it out to use it as the thumbnail. Okay, the thing I have is, you look at the coral reefs and they're looking good, and you see some white there, right? You see some white there in the edge of your eyes, so you look at it. So what is that white thing? Is that like a white reflection in a coral reef? And then you look closely at it, and then you see that it's a bubble. So there's one circle bubble in all these
It's a bubble.
coral reef shape. So you need to either take that out or have more bubbles so that it won't be just, you know, it won't just stand out as some white reflection. Also, the characters need to stand out a little bit more. They kind of sink into the whole scenery. So what I did here was I added some like dark gradation so that the characters stand out more.
Your chapters are every week.
I
Online
also
publishing.
made the characters have more contrast instead of them being a little bit too, you know, grayish. So more shadows in 3D
Yeah.
places, and also the anatomy is I had to what I did here isn't as accurate as I want it to be. I think I have to redraw the whole thing to make
Might
it
just be the shading.
a little bit more precise-ish, a little bit more. For example, even though the lower body is a fish, you kind of want the waist bone somewhere. Kind of. And things like that, where she has gills, but the gills should be somewhere where the ribs are. Maybe it doesn't have to be where the ribs are, but it makes sense if they are. And you know, highlights in the white highlights in the black
You're gonna talk about anatomy when you drew
hair and stuff, which might not be a might not be a you might not have to do that. I mean, having the black hair all black, like pitch black, would add the mysteriousness of this monster, since it's not an actual girl. It's some what do you call these? Deep sea creatures. So yeah, you should work on your figure drawings a little bit more. And when you're drawing with an underhive-shaped head, that's a whole different story. So in second place, Liana. So this is in 4 panels.
Bro, Daryl legit took 5 seconds to react to that burn.
Burn. So this is actually really good. You could see the seaweeds kind of floating in the water. You could kind of imagine what it looked like if it were an animation. You know, the flow of those seaweeds. They really look like they're floating around in the water. And then you see, so there's something happening here, and then you go down, you see all these things. Also, it's a diver and a mermaid, like grabbing the spear. And the mermaid has like a scar, so she's obviously pissed because she's had something, maybe a spear went through her face and things like that. It would have been much better if it was a little bit more complete. It looks more like a rough draft than a complete work, so I really can't do anything about that, because that would just take up too much time if I made the work complete for you. So that's not what I did. What I did was, wait, before I show what I did, the arms. What you have here is a little bit flat. Is this showing? what you have here is a little bit flat for the arms to make it a little bit more cylinder-ish. But what I did was I changed it like this. Now, the reason I changed it like that is, first of all, where she's grabbing is a little bit different. She's grabbing a little bit to the tip, but on the original one, it's pretty long, you know. And then on the original one, you can't really tell if, okay, on the first panel, you can't really tell what's happening, right? So, and then you look up closer, and then on the third panel, some people might think, wait, is that spear like penetrating the mermaid? It looks like it. Some people might think that the spear is penetrating the mermaid. So I would rather have it like that, like a grabbing it in a more grabbing it shorter and emphasizing the sharpness of the spear, because you want to like tell the reader how dangerous this spear is, and also not make them think that it's piercing yet. That's about it. That's about it. It would have been much better if it was more complete.
This feels exactly like my classes in college. I am an art major.
Your class in college? Yeah, this is what they do in college. Okay, number 3, Jasmine Blooming. This is a new person. And Jasmine Blooming also did somewhat of a comic book paneling, and so there's a girl covered in bubbles. You can see her eyes, kind of sad emotion there, and then okay, kind of sad emotion there, and you could well, you can see she's sinking. She's thinking. There's a mermaid that realized that she's sinking, so she goes for help. That's the whole, what do you call it? Premise of the whole page. It's done really good. It, I think you could call this the more like a finished work instead of a rough draft. One problem I had here was, okay, the girl is drawn big here, but the rest is drawn really small. Most readers will not see the rock that is that's most readers won't see the rock that's, what do you call it, the knotted up to her leg. So the rock and the knot is so pretty small, so you want to more emphasize that so that you could tell that she's in a really dangerous position and then she needs help.
Strapped or tied?
Strap or tied, yeah, tied to a like a rock, strapped to a rock. So what I did here was, and also the black and white is not bad. It's not bad, but it looks like that it turned into black and white after you colored it. So it's not integrated to be in black and white. It's either you do it in color or you do it in black and white. And this one looks like a black and white converted version because they didn't want to use ink. So if you're gonna go with black and white, I suggest that you use more like pitch black or just plain white. So what I did was made more contrast so that it's more black and white friendly, and I also made the rock more obvious. I made it the camera the other way because I wanted to make this bigger, but then show the mermaid also. And I made this place a little bit darker so that it makes it a little bit more dangerous feeling. She needs help, kind of. Maybe it's like in a deeper sea. We appreciate your advice, thanks. Didn't even realize she's tied to a rock until you pointed out. Right. Now, obviously I have a higher resolution, but doesn't really matter. Are you gonna have another stream to talk with the Japanese artist in the contest? Yes, I will. Not the whole thing. I'll just go through the Japanese artist. So that's a suggestion. I also made the frames a little bit crooked. This, you don't have to do this. This is just a suggestion. Oh, by the way, I added some shadow there so that you could tell where the mermaid actually is. She's swimming a little bit, you know, really close to the surface of the sea. When you make slanted lines like that in a frame, this makes the effect where when you have two characters, I mean just anything, if you have like a slanted frame like that and you have two characters, right, and they're talking, this makes the slanted line makes the effect to have, if this was A and that was B, in this panel it kind of gives the impression that B is in a more stressed situation compared to A. B is supposed to be either trying to lie or it you know, it's about to get arrested or something, which is, you know, the effect is not that strong, but just if you want slanted lines, because if you wanted slanted lines, because if your framing is becoming a little bit too like in a pattern, you want something different. Also, action panel, right? If there's movement, that's also a good thing to do. So if a character is going from here to there, you know, then a slanted line would be better than a straight vertical or horizontal line.
Makes a subtle way to imply focus in a dynamic of some kind.
Makes a subtle way to imply focus in dynamic of some kind. Right. It's not that strong of an effect, but it's better than nothing. So, where was I? Yeah. Wait, let me. Yeah, so I did the contrast and the second panel and all that. So, 4th place, Zayako. Oh, wait, I have the done version first. This is, it has, this is well drawn. The line art is really good. The colors are really good. It has a really mysterious feeling to it. But the color, I don't know, the shading to me is a little bit too simple. It doesn't look like it's finished. So what I did was just added a little bit more meatness to it with the reflection of the light, and a little bit more bluish, so that's more underwater. How do you attach with normal panel? It is a question. How do you attach or attack? So does it ever decide how many comas, how the manga will be divided? No. I mean, they might give suggestions or say that if you have too much or too little, but editors won't tell you to do 3 panels here, 4 panels there. That's, I hope it looks better, yeah. Because that's where the light source is, and you want to have the light source. Well, it's not, well, yeah. The light source doesn't mean that much here, but it just, yeah, I just wanted have more meaty, fresh, live human flesh feeling instead of this one, instead of that, because that kind of looks like this person is like the, I don't know, it looks like his left side is a black person and his right person is a brown person or something. I don't know. He has double. I mean, unless that is, no, I don't think that's what it is, because no, I don't think that's what it is. If It's just the person's just confused with the lighting. I also made the background a little bit.
Michael Jackson disease riff.
The darkness there and the darkness here are the same, so I just made the background a little bit low in contrast so that the character pops out. Number 5, Soul Artist. Soul Artist. So I did have you for
This is a mermaid contest.
3, 3,
I haven't
2,
heard any
2,
critique on the
4.
actual mermaids drawn besides the
This is a
second one, I
mermaid
think.
contest. I haven't heard any critique on the actual mermaid drawn besides the second one. The design of the mermaids are really not of a the design of the mermaids doesn't really mean much most of the time. I'll point it out if it means something. Yeah, this looks like a image board for like a
Very well.
computer graphic animated series. Although the shark is a little bit too cartoonish compared to the mermaid.
Daryl, a question. I heard some pencil company is gonna stop making a certain type of pen used by animators. Are those really obsolete nowadays? Do you buy pens for color manga anymore?
I don't. I heard most younger generation use computers already from scratch, and the
Shark
people
looks cartoonish.
who goes
Look
for
at the seahorse.
pencils are the older generations. So maybe it's about time. I don't know. Charles, look at the seahorse.
I
The
think Soul said he didn't have time to
seahorse
finish. I
is
found in the
better.
top left section.
The seahorse is better. The shark still looks too cartoonish. Even now, if it's supposed to be a threat, it should look a little bit more threatening, at least. Now, I'm not really sure what the situation here is. Why is the baby shark kind of?
It's more of a theme for the artists to draw and learn.
Why is she
I don't
taking
think
a
this is
baby
designed for
shark
that.
from the parent shark? Is it some domestic violence thing or something? Well, it doesn't really matter though. The thing is, this character is too much on the edge, and this shark is too much on the edge also,
Still a headache for a lot of people.
and there really isn't much going on here. So what I did was make the characters stand out and get them more like balanced in the frame. So I added some here and then moved the shark a little bit to the inward. Because that... Okay. I know I get really ridiculed on Discord by pointing out things like this, but... okay, that's okay. That is okay because that is not an important aspect. But this is. So you want to have these characters in a balance within the frame. I also have the characters a little bit more. I have the background in low contrast, and I made these. What are these? These weeds. More cartoonish, because the original one was there was too much lines and it didn't match with the other atmosphere. You changed the color of brought. No, the color doesn't really matter. First of all, the color was pitch black here when it's not. I didn't change the color. I gave it color because it looks like that just left there from the scratch. It looks like you did a scratch first and then you left it there. It's not. It doesn't like the broth thing doesn't look like it's finished. So make it a little bit. So I just made it a little bit more cartoonish to fit the whole work. What else did I do? That's about it, I guess. I made the fishes a little bit more random because I don't know. That looks like a. I don't know what that looks like. That looks too. I don't know. Too clean for to be a natural animal. I don't know. I could have done more, but yeah, the whole style is in cartoonish style, so having a little bit too much realistic light isn't
Supposed to be a small fish.
it's not supposed to be too realistic.
Right.
Looks like the fish have traffic lights and stop signs to follow. Right. They're staying in lanes. Right. I mean, it's okay if you have if you actually have like a underwater traffic light, then it's okay. But this this one, I don't think there was an intention to be this straight. Nam number 5 is Nam. This one actually, the colors are done really good. The colors are done really good, compared to what Nam used to do in previous challenges. This one's really good. You could see the light source. You could see a lot of things there. It really looks like the JoJo Merman, actually. Yes. So the biggest thing I have here is there's a submarine, and if you're gonna draw a submarine, go find a reference, image reference, because this does not look like a legit submarine. So I took points off for knowledge for the lack of searching. Now I could have done it myself, but I was lazy, so I kept it there and then made the light I emphasized the light a little bit more. If the light source is between the submarine and the merman, then the light would hit the submarine also. Now the submarine had this white stripe pattern, and I think this was supposed to first be like a reflection of the surface of the sea, but then you forgot to erase it or something. So I erased it, and then I made the submarine. So what I have here is the submarine got shot by some other enemy submarine or something. So that's the reason it crashed. I'm giving us some context and story here. So, but it had nuclear things coming out, which made you have to make it a little bit, destroyed a little, so that the nuclear things would pour out, making the animals nearby mutate. I also have the shadow of the merman on the surface of the sea, so that you could tell that you could kind of tell where he's floating. Now, I don't think you really needed this. It would have been better if you could have. It would have been better if it was more obvious just by the facial expression.
He surfaced and got shot by airplanes.
Made it surface top, right? They use guns underwater, not to. No, I mean, of course it could have been a torpedo. I mean, yeah, using guns underwater is not a good. Is not a.
Planes.
Yeah, bullets go super slow in underwater, so So that might have not been the best choice. I just I didn't think that through. I also have a little light there inside the shadow that comes from the fish, and a little light there also that comes from the fish. So you want to calculate every light source and like every light particle which reflects where. The reason it's shadowy there but reflective there is because the light is that part is the shadow of his head, but then after his head the light goes through and hits the spear. And things like that. So you want to really calculate the light source.
I like the eel guy thing in the back.
Eel guy. Right, the eel guy could be a little bit more... a little bit more... The eel guy could have been a little bit more... in definition or something. Either in definition, like have some scales, or a little bit more realistic hair, or you could have looked up some references of like deep sea creatures and like added some characteristics of them to this. Yeah, it doesn't look like an actual living thing. More shining veins on his body. Shining veins could have been nice, or more bonish characteristics and stuff. Yeah, so looking up reference and more accurate calculation of the light source would have been better. Number 5, Illuminatus. Illuminatus. This is done well. But two things. Is this a mermaid or a merman? It looks like... I'm not... I understand when people want to go original with their designs, but if you go too original, it kinds of goes away from the topic. So this does not really look like a merman or a mermaid. I mean, it depends on your definition, but still, you have to at least admit that you went a little bit too far with your originality.
Armored mermaid.
Iron Man, right? So
You look like a seahorse man.
A seahorse man, maybe, right? Also, he's just standing there, not standing, but like straight up. It looks like he went for like a graduation photo session. So hey, pick up your sword, slant it a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Perfect. Smile. That's what it looks like. So there's really not much context here. So those 3 points, those 2 points, no context and not really a merman or a mermaid, was the reason I have you in like 5th place. Could have been much better if otherwise. What I did here was what I did here was I thought the white fishes in the background were too white. They were too white, which stands out too much unnaturally. So I kind of blended in the fishes, and that's mostly what I did. So this is not much of an advice, but what I wanted to say more was what you have here is it looks more like this. It looks like these designs, the lines you have here are like a hard stop like that, but I want you to have them go around to the backside like that. it's really hard to tell if it's really hard to tell if that's in the back, like a hard stop or going around to the back, but that's what I wanted you to do. Also, if you look at the scales don't really look like they're going back. You know, it doesn't really look like they're going like a tube. It kind of looks like, you know, someone holded this toy and went and broke his bone or something. So what I wanted to see more of this like 3D tube feeling to the scales a little bit more. It would have been better. So I hope you could try something like that next time. Number... Oh, that was number 5. 3 consecutive 5s, so now this is number 8. Number 8, Swampy Man. Now, Swampy Man's work gives so much diversity to this art challenge. So what we have here is now I have his work as drawing power level 1, but he's at number 8 because of his context, and you know, I guess mostly his context. Now you could see, actually I think this was the only aquarium. That's just a contemporary mermaid there, and you could see that there's a couple on a date, and you could see that he gave her like a penguin fur. What do you call these? Fur animals? Fur toys? Fur toy penguin as a present, but then the dude is just like can't stop watching the mermaid, right? You can't stop watching the mermaid, and the girl's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? And then the guy's like, now I don't know where his right hand is aiming for. I don't know what he's doing. But the girl's like, oh, hey, hello, this is a public, what are you doing? You know, the mermaid's like, hi. So you could see, kind of too empty, and is in the center of the paint, which is kind of this.
Is the best thing in this piece. Brew.
Kind of too empty.
Right hand man. LOL the right hand.
Right. So
I'm so glad Darrow mentioned his hand.
This could drawings like this could be used as like a meme, for example. You know, for example. Giving the painting a whole new no, the context was there from the beginning. What I did here was supposed to be like in his pocket, so I just didn't want to draw another hand. Oh, well, that makes sense. So what I did here was the mermaid was too on the edge. Now I think I've said characters being on the edge before, so this makes more balance. It was too much on the edge, and I made it a little bit more bluish so that the whole thing is glowing from the blue light source. And then you have the green reflection on these two people, so you could kind of have, if you have two light sources, one being a stronger light source, one being a weaker light source, if you have two light sources, that will make you a good understanding of how 3D, the solidity or the 3D aspect of any figure inside. I also made I also made the seaweed a little bit on the right, because this one had the line were adjacent there, and it was a little bit awkward. So I made it a little bit to the right. I also made the bubbles have whiter lines because they were in all black lines. Well, that's about it. Yeah. Now it doesn't have to be all blurry like this. It could. This is. Some people might take this a little bit too blurry and prefer this one because it has more simple colors. But I still would want you to have the mermaid a little bit, you know, to the bottom for balance. Wait, I can't move it. I don't know how to... Yeah, for balance, like that. So make... yeah. This style of art is really heavily affected by the balance. So be careful with your balance in the frames. Same. Number 8, lawyer. Now, lawyer. I don't know if you're here right now.
Kinda Coco Kumba in the Discord.
So how do you submit painting for you to see? Yeah, check out my Discord server. I'm all right. Yes, lawyer, you're there now. Lawyer, I saw you in the Discord discussion server channel. You look pretty depressed. So I'll try to explain as much as I possibly can here. Thanks. Now, first, before I start anything, the shadows are a little too blurry. This character looks like some metal. It's made of metal, and if you have the shadow like that, it makes this mermaid. It makes this mermaid like it makes this mermaid look huge. I mean, compared to the human, it looks like, I don't know, 15 feet tall or something. And also, her tail is like super long. That tail looks like it's like 3 times her upper torso. And the bubbles, I think you use some kind of a brush for the bubbles here, but then all these bubbles would give... The bubbles are too in detail compared to the everything else. So the bubbles are awkward. It would have been better if you had more cartoonish bubbles, if the everything else is a little bit cartoonish. So what I'm gonna do is first,
Dude saw the giant lady for Ori and got an idea.
Wait, let me figure out what these are. Okay, first I just redid the whole line art. Well, okay. The thing is, it doesn't look like a giant mermaid. It doesn't look like a giant mermaid because it's a giant mermaid. It looks like a giant mermaid because, even though the artist didn't intend it. I mean, so that's a big difference. If it's not intended to look huge, it's not good. I redid the whole line. I'm gonna wait. Oh boy. I think there's one more color, but I'm gonna use only 6 colors to draw or paint the whole thing. First, so what I did first was I used this color. I used that color to just paint the whole picture, right? And then next I did the yellow from below. That's in gradation though. So, and I have another one from the sea. That's this color and this color in gradation. So that's that color and that color. I hope you can see. That's for the background. I hope you can see that the turtles and the starfish maybe not the starfish. The starfish, I think I have it a little different, but the turtle, you can see that the light is not hitting the turtle on the upper side because the yellow light is coming from the downside. That's another gradation from the top and for the background.
Nice swap.
For the background, this color is for the character, so that the character stands out.
Wait, will that man drown?
This man would probably drown. Wait, I need to see what the stream looks like. Yeah, I don't think I had a good understanding of how the stream looked like. Okay, there. So, that is the reflection coming from the yellow light. Now, I'm not really sure what's down there. Well, that's the reflection of the yellow light coming from below. And that's coming from the top. So you could kind of calculate how these...線画も含めて全部書いてる。うん。これもう線画からやり直した方が分かりやすいかと思って。So I made... Oh, that's another color that I added. So a little bit... Another level of highlight. And then I added more cartoonish bubbles. That's another color actually. And that is... Wait, that's not another color. That's the same white. Okay, not the same. What's bluish white. So that's what I did. I hope... let me do that again. I'll just show the layers one by one once again to show what I did. Well, that's the original one. Base color, gradation. So there's two light sources. Reflection, stronger reflection, bubbles, reflection on the bubbles, a little bit stronger reflection on the turtle. So how many layers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 13 layers. My color choosing this time is a little better. Your color choosing was a little better, yes. Your compared to the one you did 2 times ago. It was better with the robot, but it's even more better this time because you try to do something else. You try to do more than last time, which is better. And I'm sure you went through a lot of thinking and a lot of challenges, and probably were lost a lot of times. These things add up. I mean, just all these thinkings add up. So don't think it was a waste of time or anything. And I hope this would give you some more hints so that you could do better next time. Did I show the graph? Okay. Number 10. That's in Japanese, Teme-san. Actually, this was posted like the next day when I had posted the topic, so this was really early. I'm not gonna give points for being it early though. The whole picture is like mostly black and white, except for the bluish, bluish thing around there to make it look like an ocean, and the pink here to make it look like a mermaid. So it's you either do in black and white the whole thing or have more colors everywhere, unless it's more intentional, but this doesn't look like it's intentional. So what I did was I have bubbles coming out of the diver. What I also did here is a little bit strange, but since the eye level is around there.
Holy cow.
The eye level is around there, right? So, and if you have light beaming like that, it means the sun is there. The sun is pretty much setting at this point if it's that low. So it's supposed to be either a sunset or a morning, what do you call it? It's either a sunset or a sunrise. So above the sea level, the sky should be a little bit orange because it's sunsetting. So I have a little bit orange there. Oh, by the way, what I said about how waters are not supposed to be blue is a little bit inaccurate. But I don't have much. I don't think I could even explain why water look blue in the ocean and stuff. But you should Google that yourself. So even though if it's sunset, it would pretty much look blue underwater. What else did I do? I colored the whole thing. The pink, underwater pink things I don't think would look pink, so I made it a little bit more bluish. Although it might look pink in this whole atmosphere, although it's blue. I added, now there's a lot of things floating in water in the ocean, so I made the little things reflective from the light. I also made the setting to have a surface around there, so you have light coming from the top and then reflecting from the bottom. So there's that's about it. Yeah, I have orange lines, orange reflection here because I set it as a sunset, but I'm not really sure if these would turn out orange in actual real life. I just did it so that it looks a little bit better. But those are lies you can do when doing fictional art. Yeah, I had some time to do this one because it was posted so early. Number 10, same 10, Orpheus. Orpheus, I think you're the only one who did an octopus mermaid. Now, having octopus mermaid is not the problem. Now I have you 3 points for topic. It's not because it's an octopus mermaid. It's because it doesn't look underwater. Now, show this to anyone. Show this to 10 people. None of them are gonna say, like, maybe 2 of them might say, is this underwater? Should everything cover deep blue underwater? It depends on the style. It depends on the style you're going for. I mean, it could be red, it could be green, yellow, whatever. It's just whatever you want. As long as it looks underwater. For example, I was trying to say the poster for the end of Evangelion, but that was actually Red Sea, so it doesn't count. Okay, this picture looks like Martians about to invade Earth. Okay, so the sister octopus mermaid is saying, "Hey, we're gonna go invade Earth. Look at all those spaceships that are going to invade Earth." And his little brother's like, "Yeah, go Mars, go fuck the Earthlings." That's what it looks like. So that's why I have 1 point off for the topic. It's not. You can't really say that this is a mermaid in an underwater scene. So I'm not really. I wasn't. Now, Orpheus, you used to do everything in like high colory colors, and I think the past 2 works that you did, I said it would be much better if it was in black and white. So I guess you just did it in black and white. Which is okay, but you could still challenge in colors if you want to. So what I did here was... Okay, first of all, I couldn't really tell if the little brother, I can't really tell if it's a brother or not, was an octopus merman too. So now Okay, you guys gonna ridicule me again for having this character out of frame. The problem is not that it's out of frame. You could have it out of frame, but at least show the octopus part, right? And there's so much nothing. There's so much nothing here. Like, all this is pretty much nothing. So I wanted to reconstruct the whole drawing to make it look like they are actually Martians trying to attack Earth. Or big jellyfish monsters that are gonna attack land, maybe. Whichever way it goes. Now, maybe these jellyfishes are actually like really close to these characters and not that big, and this is just some road, which doesn't really make sense. It's like but if they are that way over there, then they're like huge, right? So they gotta be huge. They have to be huge jellyfishes. They have to be. So yeah, try to work on your composition. And also, what I wanted to point out was the jellyfish. That are same jellyfishes. These are same jellyfishes. You have same fishes, same coral reefs, and you place them around to make it look more finished. Now that is not a bad thing. I'm not pointing out that you are lazy or anything. That's a good thing. That's a skill that you have, so you work on your skill. But doing now the same thing with the stairs. It's the same thing with the stairs. What you're doing there makes the whole drawing give it too much definition, and then giving it too much definition would make it harder to make it look finished. Because then, same as the stairs, you're not gonna you might not catch up with the rest of the work if you do give it too much definition.
Copy/pasting an element of a drawing is bad if it's noticeable.
I mean, it's sometimes okay even if it's noticeable. It's better if it's not, but I want to point out that you're giving your drawings work too much definition to the point you're not able to reach. So try to get a little bit balanced there too. Seldom. This one looks like you abandoned to draw the the light and the shades. What you did for the fantasy sword fighter girl was a little bit better with the lights. So I don't think you're that bad at it, but for some reason you just abandoned it for this one. Maybe you didn't have enough time, but it could have been better if you tried. So what I did here was, wait, let me. Oh, that's just. Sorry, that's what I did. Again, the one very important aspect of drawing this original submarine, which actually looks really cool, is too much to the edge of the frame. So I added the edge so that it's in there, and you could tell that it came from the cave because of the bubbles. And there's two light sources here also, one from the submarine and one from the top of the sea. I also have more fishes circling around this gigantic mermaid. So light source hits there, hits the seaweeds. This gigantic light source hits this way. So, and these are shadows there that doesn't directly hit from the light source because of the huge mushroom hair she has. But then the direct light that hits this part might reflect it down to the downside of the mushroom. So I have these reflected lights that are, so the light particles hit here and then jump there. After review, do you have a good website or book of coloring to share? No. With coloring, not really. I'm looking for one myself. So I hope, yeah, I hope you could maybe try next time with the reflection of the light and stuff. Because I compare, I consider you to be more able to do these things. Number 13, Lord Farquaad. I might have not pronounced that correctly. Lord Farquaad, this is, I mean, the waves, the line of the waves, and the line of the light that coming down like this, and this like really crooked fish. What, I'm not even sure what that is. It was better if it wasn't there at all. It would have been much better if it wasn't there at all. I'm not even gonna touch the SpongeBob. I have you for 0.1 for completion, and it would have been at least like 2 if you didn't have these like super unfinished lines. But the idea you had here was a little cool. Now, it might have been some from some, you know, already existing work that I'm not aware of, but still, it's a good idea to have a shark speared up to be a throne. So that's a good idea. So
that fish looks dead and funny.
If you're gonna have a shark that's speared up as a stone, you want to at least make the shark speared up a little bit more obvious. So what I did here was to have, you could have the spear piercing, you could see the spears piercing through the inner side of the mouth. That way it's more obvious that it's being speared. Also, you want to have the teeth of the shark within the roundness, the perspective, the roundness. So imagine a sheet of paper with triangles on it, and then you like turn it around, like turn it into like a circle, and then you have triangles that are more thinner looking, like that.
That looks like Deadpool now.
Looks like Deadpool now. It actually does. So yeah, some ideas like that would have been better. 13. Hi, I don't know what username this.
Draws on a trackpad and refuses to use an actual tablet, I think. And also crams the whole challenge into 2 hours on the last day.
Actual tablet? Oh, also crams the whole challenge into 2 hours the last day. Okay. Using a trackpad? Well, that's... How can anyone draw on a trackpad? That's pretty... Wow. That's actually a little bit... what do you call it? Surprising. Hi, I don't know what username. Now, I've pointed out these things multiple times already in this challenge also. That is a important aspect of this drawing, right? Now, what I assume is you drew this first, right? And then
It was distract.
I'm gonna draw a girl who's running away from it or swimming away from it. And you went like that. Oh, wait, there's no space. There's no space, but it might work. Well, it's not working, so don't keep these things out of frame. Get it within the frame. That's pretty much I had to say about this. So, where's the yeah? So keep it in the frame. I also used I also had the yellow, a little bit more yellower, and the gray bluish, so that yellow and blue are complementary colors. Now, can't believe that came to my brain. Complementary colors, yeah. If you don't know what a complementary color is, Google it, please. Ikasumi.
Girl's hair is too long. Do we still need to keep in frame?
Ikasumi. Even the girl's hair is too long. If the girl's hair is too long, then not really. It depends. If it's in good balance, then it's okay. For example, this one has the fin out of frame, but that's okay because the fin isn't that important.
Keep the main thing in frame, you mean?
Keep main things in frame, right? Because it's this, the fin here is not the main thing. The main thing is this character, upper side of the character.
Thanks, LOL.
Now, not gonna. The point of this drawing is not it being underwater or reflection or anything. The point of this character is to be as kawaii as possible. So that's what I did. Made it. Your figure drawings, mostly around the neck, is horrible. So I suggest you learn a little bit more, a little bit human anatomy. So if you kind of know how the bones are kind of like, and then kind of understand how the muscles are attached, it could be better. Maybe. What you could do is just do like a direct copy of kawaii drawings that already exists out there. That actually is one good shortcut you could do to improve yourself. They 1 point gun at me, yeah. I hope it helps. Now, I assumed by the hairstyle, it's supposed to be more like a pretty. How do you pronounce? Is precure precure? Is precure any relevant in the West or other countries? Precure? Not really sure. I just assume it's sort of more like precure. 16, Craig. Not really? Okay. Craig, this is on paper and I guess a pencil, which is not the problem. The problem here, the biggest problem I hear is that the whole thing is too, this ocean is too transparent. Pretty Cure isn't that popular, but it did get something bad national function renamed Glitter Force. Glitter Force. Yeah, I understand Sailor Moon would be a well-known reference, but Sailor Moon and Pretty Cure are pretty different, according to me. here the ocean is too transparent. There's no way you could see a floating ship from this deep. And the sad thing is, a lot of people might not even notice the ship that's being wrecked. They would just see something being wrecked, and then a huge squid, and then a mermaid that's trying to help him or make him drown or something.
I can think of that would be known in the U.S.
I can think of that would be known in the U.S. Right, but Sailor Moons don't have like ridiculously ridiculous hairstyle compared to Pretty Cure. So what I did here was, yeah, I made the mermaid and the guy in silhouette. It doesn't have the silhouette, but it has to be at least a little bit more jumping to your eyes. And then I purposely made the squid out of frame a lot to make it look big. And also that would make the ship that's being wrecked more visible, more scary like. Now you have the squid, the eyes of this squid is like what do you call those, like cat eyes, but I don't know. My opinion, squids are more scary when they have round eyes.
Look at giant eye.
Right. So you could absolutely do this on paper and pencil. I hope to see. I hope you post one again. And I hope this helps to give you some idea of what you can do to get better. Mr. H. Mr. H. This is the last one. This is the last one. Mr. H. Mr. H posted this late. I think he was late before, if I'm not mistaken. So I have it on the last place. But even if it wasn't that posted that late, what is this? What is this? Is this even a mermaid? Is this even underwater? What is this? It looks like a girl is either lying down or I don't know. There's a huge tire or rock or something rolling down from beyond, and the girl's like, "Hey, stop the tire or the rock or something." And there's a horse. You could see a horse tail. So there was a horse. Or maybe she's riding a horse. It looks like she's holding onto a horse. You know, looks like she's holding onto a horse. Forgot the strings. But so there's a horse tail there, right? You can only see the tail. And then there's this giant tire that's rolling. But you could see the skid mark there. So I guess it's rolling over there. So this giant tire ran over the horse. And the girl's like, "Hey, you ran over my horse." That's what it looks like. Now, what I assume it's supposed to be this is supposed to be the bottom part of a ship. Not in the right position or in the right part of the body. No, that's not in the right position of the body either. Okay. Breasts do not grow out of your what do you call these? What bones do you call these? Your
Wait, was I T-horse there?
This bone doesn't. Breasts don't grow out of this bone, so it should be a little bit. Unless she's wearing like a really tight collarbone, right? It looks like the breasts are growing out of her collarbone, but unless she's wearing like a really tight suit that just pulls the breast up. So if that's the case, it might look like that, but either way, it looks really unnatural. Yeah, so this is supposed to be the bottom part of the ship, I guess, and she's supposed to be a mermaid that goes like that, I guess, and she's saying goodbye to some guy on the boat, which we can't see.
No Hagito suit.
So, what I did was make the boat more obvious that it's a boat, and make the mermaid more obvious that it's a mermaid.
I always have the problem of drawing necks too short as well.
That's all. I do not know if this is correct, but is her neck too short? I also have the problem drawing necks too short as well. Was the neck too short? Probably, but it depends, because it looks like she's like shrugging her shoulder, which, you know, kind of raises your neck when you do that. But you don't go like, I mean, you don't want a girl to be like that when she's saying goodbye.
Okay, that makes sense.
So at least draw something that you can like which you could tell what's happening, or if you can't, then draw something else, because drawing a boat from below is pretty hard. Now, you might have not noticed that until you drew it, but I think it was possible. I think you had the skill to do it. Maybe you rushed it. At least you learned something, that it's hard to draw boats from below. So that's about it for this week's weekly challenge. Next week's challenge is draw a person riding a bicycle. I'm not really sure if I should say this, but I'm gonna say it. I want the person riding the bicycle to rotate the pedals. I don't want them like having their legs on midair when they're like on a hill. You know, you don't really have to turn the pedals. I want the people to turn the pedals. I might take points off for topic if they're not turning the pedals. I want motion, yes. I want it says ride the bicycle. It's not on a bicycle. You can't just have someone lean on a bicycle. They have to be riding the bicycle, and they should be turning the pedals. Cause oh boy, is it hard to draw people legs on those pedals and it's turning.
Okay.
It is I think it's harder than drawing people on stairs, in my opinion.
Get points off for drawing multiple people on the bike.
No.
A little harder. The pain.
Unless they're like on the bicycle really awkward. Like if you just have 20 dead bodies on a bicycle, you know, you pierce their head with the where they're supposed to sit, where people are supposed to sit and stuff, then that's not riding, that's just being carried on a bicycle. Someone has to ride it. Someone has to accelerate the bicycle.
First, let's all go ride on bicycle in real life.
Right. So that's about it. I hope I hope to see. I'm looking for the next one.
What Well, for example, like 20 clowns on the bike.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Like if it is so the context there is that it's like not a magic trick show, but like a circus, right? A circus thing. That's okay. 英語しかないけど、これって日本語禁止ではないけど、禁止ではないけど、基本英語を基本でこのシリーズはやってるから。Thank you for your advice. Right, so hope to see you next week. Bye. Should I have like a
What if a person riding a bike that runs a nuclear reactor to power a city?
like a line that I should go like something? You know, some people have their line that they go to.
Thank you for the stream, Daryl.
Their go-to
I
lines
really
like
appreciate you interacting with your overseas audience so much. Ty Daryl. Bye bye.
Drawing gives your life a new dimension. Be sure to join the art challenge if you're interested. Join my Discord.
Catchphrase.
Join my Discord channel from the description below. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you next week. Bye. Something like that. I'll try to catchphrase. Not a catchphrase. What do you call those things? Yeah. Maybe I might come up with one next time. So like and subscribe if you haven't yet. You know, try to join the Discord server that's in the description below. See you next week.